Call to order the monthly meeting of the Shell Rock River Watershed District for April 11th, 2023. Leah, please call roll.
Manager Bakken,
Here.
Manager Hanson,
Aye.
Manager Pasuski,
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye. Okay, going on item 2 is public forum. I don't see anybody here to speak, so we'll go on to number 3, consent agenda. Let's see, consent agenda is the minutes of the March 7th, 2023 Shell Rock River Watershed monthly board meeting. B, March 2023 treasurer's report subject to audit. C, March 2023 project fund treasurer's report subject to audit. D, authorized payments of claims. E, authorized payment of project fund disbursements. And F, quarterly transfer. The following items will be acted upon without discussion in accordance with the staff recommendation and associated documents unless a manager requests the opportunity for discussion. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Made by Manager Pasuski. I have a second.
Second.
By Manager Hanson. Any discussion? Hearing none. Leah, please call roll.
Manager Bakken,
Aye.
Manager Hanson,
Aye.
Manager Pasuski,
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye. Carried. Item 4 is the approval of the agenda. Are there any additions, corrections, or deletions that need to be made to the rest of the agenda?
Not this time.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
By Manager Hanson, do I have a second?
Second.
By Manager Bakken. Any discussion? Hearing none. Leah, please call roll.
Manager Bakken,
Aye.
Manager Hanson,
Aye.
Manager Pasuski,
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye. Item number 5. Pursuant to the Minnesota open law, meeting law, the meeting will now be closed as permitted by the Minnesota statute 13D-.03 and 13D.05, so 3C. To discuss strategy as it relates to the sale options and offer listing price of the country club property. We are closed. The board managers have concluded the closed session to discuss strategy as it relates offers of the country club property. We'll now reopen the regular board meeting for Shell Rock River Watershed. Also like to note that Manager Kramer has came into the meeting at this point. Item number 6, program manager Courtney Phillips.
Thank you. Our first item is a motion to accept or reject offers from the country club property. And following the closed discussion or the closed meeting, looks like that motion will now read a motion to accept Greg Jensen's offer for $400,000 for the country club property.
We have to add the trust in there, Greg Jensen trust.
Yep, Greg Jensen Trust.
Is there a motion? For me. So I'm asking this for more. I'm gonna introduce the motion, please. Motion made by Manager Bakken. Do I have a second? Second by Manager Pasuski. Any discussion? Hearing none. Will you please call roll?
Manager Kramer,
Aye.
Manager Hanson,
Aye.
Manager Pasuski,
Aye.
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye. Motion carried.
Good evening.
I think you skipped down.
Oh, Bakken, sorry.
Aye.
Thank you.
I've done it before.
Next item is item B, which is a motion to approve Century 21 as listing agent for the country club property. At this time, because of item A, we are looking to table that motion.
Who make that motion?
Manager Pasuski, do I have a second?
Second.
By Manager Bakken. Any discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Manager Bakken,
Aye.
Manager Hanson,
Aye.
Manager Pasuski,
Aye.
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you. Next is a motion to approve a proposal for an environmental review for the Fountain Lake Inlet Habitat Project. So this was included in your board meeting packet. We are working with ISG to complete the engineering for our in-lake habitat study. And all of the work that is going into redoing the habitat on the bottom. And it looks like the amount of impact that we're gonna have to the lake bottom, such as adding rock or artificial or natural structures, is over the threshold that it triggers an EAW. And so we are looking for an engineering service agreement to work with ISG to complete that EAW as a result of the permitting. So it is for $15,000. It should be streamlined because we have our EAW from our dredging project, so we can kind of follow the same process when it goes to that. But of course, it's going to require different information, being that this is a habitat project versus a dredging project. But they've done EAWs in the past, and we feel confident that they'll be able to help us complete that.
Okay, do I have a motion? So by Manager Hanson, do I have a second?
I'll second.
By Manager Bakken, any discussion? Who requested or required to have that?
I think the permit is I don't remember if it's I know we need to have the EAW submitted before we can apply for our public waters permit. So I want to say it's DNR. But I know it is a permit requirement.
Okay, I would assume that would have been them also. Any other discussion? Hearing none, will you please call roll?
Manager Bakken.
Aye.
Manager Hanson. Manager Bestuski.
Aye.
Manager Kramer.
Aye.
Manager Delger.
Aye, motion carried.
Thank you. Next item is a legislative update. Last week, the legislator did take a break from April 5th to April 10th, and so they are resuming back up this week. As you know, the bonding bill requires a supermajority, but there hasn't been a bonding bill since 2020, so a lot of those projects are stacking up. Currently, House File 669 has $9 million for the phase 3 of the Fountain Lake Restoration Project. However, if the legislator ends up going to a cash only bonding bill instead of needing the supermajority votes, there is a concern that our project might fall off the table, but we would be the only project in that case that would fall off if it was a cash bill. So still unknown as the legislator is moving forward in that process. I do also want to point out that we do have $2.198 million for phase 12 of our habitat restoration program. That is kind of going through smooth sailing, so that looks like it's going to be untouched.
Good.
That is the legislative update. Item E is a Minnesota Watersheds monthly update. I believe that you were included in the Minnesota Watersheds update that gets sent out. That was included in your packet. Andy and Leah have been continuing to work on the summer tour as we are hosting that this summer with Cedar and Turtle Creek. I just give you a reminder to look through these of the upcoming things that other watershed districts are doing, and also a chance to read about the board of directors. And please don't forget about the summer tour that is going to be taking place here in June. And then that, item F is the Shell Rock River Watershed District Employee Opportunity Update. As you recall, we did post for a seasonal technician. We have received a few applicants. We're in the process of doing interviews. Hopefully, when it comes time for next month's meeting, we may have someone new sitting here. So we have been getting some applicants, so conducting that stuff down. There's no questions. Then item G is a One Watershed One Plan update. Just reminding the board that we received our first chunk of funding for our Bowser One Watershed One Plan funding, or our watershed based implementation funding grant. We are looking to get started on some of those projects. The biggest things that we're starting with this year is reimbursing the city of Albert Lea for their street sweeping. We're also going to be working with the city of Albert Lea for installing a rain garden. And we're going to try and really reach out to our agricultural producers to implement cover crops. Those are kind of the main ones that we're targeting this year. We also have some funding for low income homesteads to do septic upgrades if they are imminent health threats, and then also sealing wells. And the last item that I have is item H, which is the Bancroft Wetland Restoration Update. If you remember, a couple of years ago, we purchased properties from an Olson family, which is north of Albert Lea. This is along County Ditch 65. This was Lazard Sam's funded project for wetland restoration. We are working with ISG to do a feasibility study on that site, just because the property is transected by a county ditch and a branch of that county ditch. There's just a lot of opportunities that could be done to wetland restoration. There's no clear path forward, so we are working with ISG to get a feasibility study done to see what we could all do out there for holding water on the landscape and taking some of that water off that 65 ditch system. And that feasibility was for $6,000 that the district approved, so. Just an update there.
Great. Anything else?
Nope, that is all.
It is. Going on to item 7, are there any managers items? No? Okay, then we're going to number 8. Upcoming meetings, we have a board meeting on May 9th and also a workshop on May 9th. We also have our tour summer tour, which is June 20, 21 and 22. We're gonna need a lot of help for the managers at that.
I think the big date to have on your calendar is that welcome dinner, which is the 20th.
Everybody mark the calendars. Anything else? We have. If not, we have a motion to adjourn. Made by Manager Hanson. Do I have a second? Second. Second by Manager Kramer. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Please call the roll.
Manager Bakken?
Aye.
Manager Hanson?
Aye.
Manager Pasuski?
Aye.
Manager Kramer?
Aye.
Manager Dilger?
Aye. We are adjourned.